Before you install Linux, there is one decision that will affect your experience more than almost anything else. More so than the desktop, the theme, or the YouTuber you watched before downloading your first ISO. If you get this wrong, then Linux can feel unstable, frustrating and unreliable. But if you get it right, it can feel really smooth and really predictable and solid. Now, a lot of users jump straight into the hype around the fast, cutting-edge distros without really understanding what they're signing up for. And when things break, they think Linux is the problem. Most of the time it's not. It's down to the release model. If you are coming from Windows, then you are used to one very specific release style, even if you never really thought about it before. Microsoft decides when Windows updates. You get a big version every few years, and then monthly patches, security updates, and the occasional feature updates. The system moves forward as one unit. The operating system, the drivers, and the core software stay roughly in the same generation for a long time. Now, Linux works very differently, and it gives you the choice. And that choice affects stability, compatibility, and how often things change. So before picking a distro, the real question is not really which one looks nice or which one is popular. It's more about how much change do you want in your system. Now, there's three main types of release models. The first one is the fixed release model, also known as stable. This is the closest to how Windows feels. They decide which versions of software to use, they test everything, and then they ship that as a release. That version stays mostly the same for years. You still get security updates and bug fixes, but core software versions change rarely. The kernel updates here are cautious and limited. They focus on security and critical fixes and not new features. Now, the upside to this is that these systems are very stable, very predictable and low maintenance. But the downside is you get older software, slower hardware support, and slower access to new drivers and fixes, which can impact gaming compatibility and performance. Next is the regular release model. These release every 6 to 12 months. Each release is a full snapshot of the system. Between releases, the kernel updates often, MISA updates very frequently, and firmware updates regularly. These updates improve GPU support, performance, and new hardware compatibility. But there is a trade-off. Kernel updates can sometimes cause problems. GPU drivers can sometimes cause glitches. Wi-Fi can stop working. External devices can misbehave. And that risk exists anywhere where the kernel updates frequently. Now, the rest of the system stays on a stable base, especially the core libraries and system structure. So basically, a regular release is a system with fast hardware updates. Now, the upside is excellent gaming support and a strong balance between stability and modern software. But the downside is that kernel updates can occasionally cause issues, and you still need a full upgrade every 6 to 12 months. Then there is the rolling release. This is the one that gets all the hype. There are no versions, everything updates continuously. The kernel, MISA drivers, the desktop, core system libraries, kernel updates happen very often here. That means you do get the newest hardware support, but you also get the highest risk of breakage. The upside is the best support for new GPUs and CPUs and very, very fast access to fixes. But the downside is that kernel problems are more likely, updates need attention, and you do need to have some basic recovery skills just in case. Now, sometimes people say semi-rolling release. That usually means the kernel and drivers update quickly while the rest of the system changes more slowly. But the warning still applies. If the kernel updates often, then stability risk goes up. And this really is the key rule. The faster your kernel updates, the more careful you must be. So let's recap. With fixed release systems, or stable, the kernel updates slowly, giving you the highest stability but the lowest hardware freshness. With regular release systems, the kernel updates often, giving you great hardware support, with a small but real risk after updates. With rolling release systems, the kernel updates constantly, giving you the best hardware support, but also the highest maintenance and risk. So your Linux choice is really about your level of risk tolerance. Do you want maximum stability? Do you want a balanced middle ground? Or do you want maximum hardware support and freshness? Linux gives you that control, Windows does not. Now, once you understand how often the kernel updates, release schedules stop being confusing. You are choosing how much change you want in your system. So with this in mind, go and check what release schedule your distro uses. Or if you're planning to move from Windows, think about which one sounds right for you. Let me know in the comments, what are you running or what you are thinking of switching to. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. It really does make a difference. Feel free to pop a comment down below or just pop an emoji down there just for the sake of engagement. Thank you so much for watching. You guys take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.